Today, I'm going to show a 2021 Turkish drama film called Paper Lives. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. In the streets of Istanbul, a young man named Mehmet is roaming the streets collecting trash. After making his usual rounds, he goes back to their solid waste warehouse where his friend, Gonzi, catches him as he collapses to the ground. Gonzi, seeing that his friend's medicine has run out, calls their uncle Tashin and takes Mehmet to the hospital. As Mehmet is examined by a doctor, he is told that he needs a kidney transplant. They don't have enough money for the surgery, so Mehmet and Gozan leave together with their uncle Tashin. They return Mehmet to his rundown apartment where he takes his medicine and sleeps with a photo in his arms. When morning breaks, Mehmet returns to the warehouse where a group of young boys is waiting for him. Mehmet takes care of the records as a worried Gonzi reminds him that he shouldn't be postponing his surgery. Mehmet brushes him off and tells him not to worry too much, and then the usual day of trash collecting begins. As Mehmet begins to close for the day, he hears a noise coming from one of the trash bags. As he pushes it, a young boy emerges and scuttles away. Mehmet corners the terrified boy and convinces him to come out. The boy introduces himself as Ali. Mehmet takes him in and gives him some food. He tells Mehmet that he's looking to earn some money so that his mother can come and live with him. Later that night, Mehmet calls Gozan to his apartment. They talk about what they should do with Ali. Gozan suggests they take him to the police or his home, but Mehmet disagrees. He won't return Ali until he knows why the boy was left in the trash bag. He won't let what happened to him happen to this boy. The next morning, Mehmet takes Ali to a public bathhouse together with his friends. Mehmet notices the bruises on Ali's back and he feels sorry for the boy. He tries to make him feel better by taking him to a hamburger shop. With a little bit of help from Gozan, he convinces the group to throw a birthday party for Ali. As Mehmet looks for a birthday cake, he leaves Ali with Gonzi. A few minutes later, a crying Ali comes into the shop saying that some lady tried to take him. Gonzi comes back, having left the boy for a few minutes, and Mehmet reprimands him with a punch to the face, saying that he shouldn't have left Ali alone. That night the group throws a birthday party for Ali by the docks. Mehmet lets Ali blow out the candles at the cake and asks the group to make a wish. When Mehmet asks the group about their wishes, another boy tells him that he wishes to die. Bewildered, Mehmet asks why would he want to die. The boy says he'd like to die young because he's afraid that if he dies when he's older, his mother won't recognize him when they meet in the afterlife. As Mehmet and Ali hang out on the rooftop of their apartment building, they talk about their lives. Mehmet promises him that he will take him to the beach soon, and he will teach him how to swim. With Ali happy, they go back to their quarters. As morning breaks, Mehmet finds the bedroom empty. He starts to feel the panic rising up in his chest as he goes looking for Ali in the building. With the boy nowhere to be found, he rushes out into the streets screaming Ali's name and asking passers-by if they've seen a little boy around. As he goes back to his apartment to call for help, he spots Ali sitting in the living room. Collapsing with relief, Mehmet asks Ali where he's been the whole morning. Ali told him that he had a dream about his mother and he went outside to look for her, and when he couldn't find her, he went back to Mehmet's place. Mehmet thinks it's important for Ali's mother to know that her son is alive and well, so he devises a plan to make Ali show him where he lives and he can go talk to Ali's mother. Ali agrees to the deal. That afternoon, the pair goes swimming at the beach. Mehmet teaches Ali how to swim as Gonzi looked on happily. Ali then thanks Mehmet later that night as he tucks him into bed. Mehmet stays up in the warehouse, trying to build a trash collector for Ali when his uncle Tashin intervenes. Uncle Tashin asks about Ali and says that his parents must miss him. Mehmet insists that Ali's parents don't want him and that he'll take care of the boy as Uncle Tashin did for them. As he leaves, Uncle Tashin shakes his head disapprovingly and reminds Mehmet that he's sick. The next morning, Mehmet surprises Ali with his own trash collector and takes him to work. They enjoy a full day's worth of collecting trash and then they retire back to Mehmet's apartment. Mehmet tries to work back at the warehouse but soon goes back to the apartment, only to find Ali laying down on the streets. He sniffs some glue from the neighborhood kids because he thought it would help him see his mother. Crying, Mehmet takes him back to the apartment and tells him to never do it again. As Ali regains consciousness, he mistakes Mehmet for his stepfather while still in his dazed state. As Mehmet tries to calm him down, Ali struggles and kicks him away. Ali soon finds the picture in Mehmet's drawer. Ali asks Mehmet why he has a photo of him and his mom in his drawer. Mehmet explains to him that he's mistaken and that it's Mehmet in the photo and not Ali. Still in his confused state, Ali becomes angry and rips apart the photo. Mehmet cries out in protest and flips over the coffee table, crawling his way back to the photo that now lays torn on the floor. As Mehmet tries to tape back the photo together, Gonzi comes by. Ganzi finally convinces him to take the boy to his parents, at least so that they'd see that he is alive and well. Mehmet agrees and promises to take the boy tomorrow. The next morning, keen on his promise, Mehmet takes Ali to collect trash, but this time, they go to a different neighborhood. Mehmet helps Ali try to remember where he used to live. They end up in an upscale part of the neighborhood and Ali stops to point at a building saying that's where he lives with his parents. Just as soon as they've discovered Ali's home, his stepfather walks out of the building and Mehmet tries to chase him down to talk to him. He loses the stepfather in the streets and goes back to Ali, only to find him beat up and hiding in the trash bag. Filled up with rage, Mehmet confronts a group of trash collectors nearby. The other men say they don't know what Mehmet is talking about and the conversation soon turns into a fight. He manages to land several punches on the men, but they soon outnumber him. They lock Mehmet in a chokehold and then the two other guys start beating him up. They kick him down to the ground, his mouth coughing up blood, and only stops when the cops started coming. Beaten and bruised, Mehmet looks up to see a terrified Ali watching in horror as the other men left him for dead. He tries to call out to him but he soon passes out. When Mehmet wakes up, he finds himself in the hospital with Gozan by his side and a nurse telling him that they almost lost him. Mehmet asks for Ali, but Gozan tells him that he lost the boy. The rage builds up in Mehmet's chest as he rips himself off from the dialysis machine. Gozan forces him down saying he needs to stay there, but Mehmet can only cry out in pain. He manages to convince Gozan to take him out of the hospital and back to the warehouse. Mehmet rummages through the storage, looking for the hidden stash of cash that he saved up for his surgery. Uncle Tashin arrives and reminds him that he needs that money for surgery. If Mehmet gives it away now, they don't know how they're going to get that amount of money again. Mehmet threatens them with a knife saying he's taking this money to save Ali. He confronts Uncle Tashin, blaming him for his miserable life. He grabs his uncle and yells at his face, asking him why didn't he take him back to this mother. He tells them that he made a promise to Ali and that he's not going to break it. Mehmet takes Uncle Tashin's car and drives all the way to the building where Ali's parents live. He knocks on the door and sees an elderly couple living in the room. He demands to know where Ali is, but the confused couple can only stand in shock. He gives them the money but they only force him out. Desperate, Mehmet forces himself in, threatening them with his knife. As he searches for Ali, the couple tells Mehmet that Mehmet's family used to live here before, but they're gone now. As Mehmet enters his old room, his memories come rushing back in. He remembers his childhood and how his stepfather used to beat him up, prompting his mother to abandon him in Uncle Tashin's trash bag. Having enough pain and confusion, Mehmet screams out. He makes his way out of the couple's apartment and back into the streets. The rain has started to pour down as Mehmet collapses near a pile of trash, holding in his hand the only picture he has of him and his mother. As life begins to slip away from Mehmet, Gozan reveals that everything that has been happening was inside Mehmet's mind. Everyone played along, feeling sorry for their sick friend who's been having a hard time remembering reality. Mehmet often slips into his own imagination to make his childhood self happy. Mehmet holds out the picture in front of him with his last remaining energy. His tears mix in with the rain on his face as he finally accepts his fate. All he wanted was to reunite his abandoned childhood with his mother, but that can never be. He will only be a street kid. He slips away from consciousness and never wakes up again. The police find his body, later on, holding the picture of a hopeful kid and his mother.